This TMI, and we are looking at issues concerning tackling insecurity and a fresh order or marching order given by President Muhammadu Buhari to the military and other security agencies to deal decisively with any groups or persons trying to undermine the security of this great country, Nigeria. And being that as it is, I'm joined by distinguished guests, starting from my immediate left, where I have a security expert and CEO of Sapphire Shield Security, Reverend Dr. Sheriff Azeke. Thanks for joining me, Reverend Sheriff Azeke.
Good morning, and good morning, viewers.
It's been a long time having you on set, Reverend Dr. Sheriff.
Yes.
All right, good to have you join me again.
Thank you very much.
And next to him, I have the lecturer in the Political Science Department, University of Benin, and he is Neville Obakedo. Thanks for joining me, Neville.
Thank you for having me this morning. Good morning, viewers and listeners at home, and welcome to February 2022.
Well, tackling security has been the discourse, national discourse, and it is the responsibility of everyone, all and sundry, to look at ways in which this issue of insecurity can be given a big blow. And the federal government, the president, while having a visit to the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Abubakar III, in his palace, did reiterate that he is given a fresh marching order to the military and security agencies to deal decisively with any group of persons or individual that want to undermine Nigeria's security. Well, I don't know how you greet this fresh order given by the president, Sheriff.
Well, it's a welcome development and a booster to the military and to those who are custodians of security. For the president to give a marching order from that capacity is a thing that we welcome so much. But I would still say it's like it's coming late because there have been pressures from every corner to give this marching order, because we have to address security in the proactive direction. We should not be reactive. We should not allow things to happen, things to go down before we begin to take some decisive measures to handle security issues. We should be very, very ready to handle issues that has to do with security, because the major duty and the major role of a responsible government is to protect the lives of the citizen and their properties. I think it's a welcome development, and we appreciate the president for that.
Okay.
But personally, it's like it's coming late because a lot of lives have gone. If that had been done before now, lives would have been saved, and too many things would have been managed very well.
Okay, let's see how the lecturer greets this development. I know there have been various marching orders, but this is...
When we talk about security, there are various aspects of security. But let me just start by saying that it is the responsibility of government to provide security for the citizens. And that is why the crafter of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, is 17, subsection 1, 2, 3, and so on. It is clearly stated that the function of government shall be the security and welfare of the people. And so, for proper direction, there is a president who is the head of state, who is also the commander-in-chief. Head of state, the person in charge of the management of the affairs of the country. Commander-in-chief, the person that is in charge of the armed forces. In this case, the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Air Force, and the Nigerian Navy. One expects, for example, the president and commander-in-chief, who was a head of state and commander-in-chief before, who was GOC 3rd Armored Division of the Nigerian Army before, and he played a role in silencing Cameroonian Jedans in the early 80s and the quelling of Matasini religious riot in Bauchi and other parts of the north. Right now, the situation we have at hand is worse than those two combined. It's worse than the Cameroonian Jordan activities and the activities of Matasini. And we expected that the president and his men should be able to act. When I say president and his men, the president and the leadership of the armed forces,
that he commands.
Yes, the president will do the needful by ensuring that there's adequate and necessary equipment for the armed forces to carry out their duties. And the president should ensure that those that are posted are those who have national interests at heart, who are ready to deal the word decisively. I'm coming to look at that word. Who are ready to deal decisively with those who are threatening the peace and security of the country. Even the Sultan of Sokoto, he retired from the army prematurely to go and take that position of Sultan of Sokoto. He was already an army colonel, senior army colonel, who was approaching promotion to brigadier general position.
So he knows what it takes.
Yes, and right now, we keep talking about insecurity in Nigeria, and we are pointing at one direction. We are pointing at one direction because this security that we have in Nigeria, basically from the north, and is spreading to other parts of the country. And we are seeing that the same elements, if we are not talking of bandits, they are from the north. Some of them from neighboring countries. They are from neighboring countries and they are allowed to enter Nigeria because they have relatives across the borders who will allow them to say pass into Nigeria territory because the place is uncovered and unmanned. Then we have cattle rustlers who are also from the north and some from neighboring countries. When I say neighboring countries, some from Niger Republic, some from Cameroon, some from Chad. And they have people around the border that allow them to cross to enter Nigeria.
Making the borders porous.
Yes, making the borders porous. The security men that allow them to pass, they are enemies of the state. They are supposed to be dealt with decisively. And they are known. Because if you go and check the roster of custom, of immigration, of army, of police, you will know those who are posted here. And they are smiling to the bank. They are living big lifestyle, luxurious lifestyle, sophisticated lifestyle, based on the insecurity that they provide for, that they allow Nigeria to be facing as we speak. So those persons are supposed to be dealt with decisively. Then we are talking of Fulani herdsmen attacking people everywhere.
You know, you are talking about criminal headsmen. You don't need to
criminal headsmen.
You don't need to give them a try because we can't really tell. Let's just keep it at the level of criminal headsmen, please.
What I'm saying.
You can buttress your point,
yes,
but
yes.
let's keep it at the level of criminal headsmen.
Let me buttress my point. I live in a very small house, very small. I live in one room. And in that one room, I can access information across the world. And information about Nigeria. And information about insecurity. If you hear me mention anything, you can check it and see whether there are no glaring headlines of what I've said just now. If because of NBC issues, you are asking me not to insist on that, I will not insist on that. But when we are talking of criminal herdsmen in all the forests, on government spaces in Nigeria, we are still pointing to the same direction. And now, people are talking about dealing decisively. How do you deal decisively? This morning before I came here, I saw a video concerning Edo State, a town they call Ewonombo, which is very close to Benin here. That place, people popularly call it Okada Junction. They apprehended.
You saw a video, I think, on social media.
Yes.
I think we should look at that because we are yet to really verify that.
Yes. That's
at present we should leave it because it's only on social media. We've not really analyzed that. So please, just
the video will not be shown by the police. It is only the people apprehended by the Edo State vigilante group that will be handed over to the police. So the police will not show you the video. Okay. And since the police will not show you the video, that will not also show the video. But what I'm trying to let you know is that the same people are the people that are mentioned when it comes to the issue of insecurity in the larger part of the country. Now, if you say deal with them decisively, what do you mean by decisively? The language deal decisively in the military is to exterminate. If people are planning to overthrow the government of a military government and they are apprehended, they are dealt with decisively. They are going to be made to face a military tribunal and then they will be executed. Now, the way we are talking of deal decisively, what are you saying? Are you saying if Edo State vigilante group apprehend criminals, whether they are from Edo State or from other places, and they are found to be carrying weapons, and they are known to have even killed people in the name of either kidnapping, in the name of banditry, in the name of whatever, if they are caught, are you saying they should be handed over to the police? Where sometimes their charges may be porously.
What does the law say about it? What does the law say about it?
What the law says about it. When you are saying what does the law say about it, you should not be talking about deal decisively there. The president should say that they should be apprehended and made to face the law. That's what the president should have said. If he say did decisively, he said if you see any person that you know is an enemy of the state, he said it before now. He said if you see anybody carrying AK-47 who is not a security man, that you should kill the person. The president said it. Is he not aware that you are supposed to follow the due process? He is telling you that the security situation is frustrating. When you see those who are perpetrating security, relocate them. That is the meaning of what he's saying by deal with them decisively.
Okay, but you see it as a political statement or real issues from the president?
Well, I cannot say because the president and commander-in-chief have spoken. He has spoken with a first-class traditional ruler in northern Nigeria.
And so security organizations
follow that. A former army officer. So I'm not expecting the president to be playing politics with that kind of statement.
Okay.
But what we have discovered is that in the northern part of the country, most of the criminals, whether they are criminal herdsmen, whether they are bandits, whether they are cattle rustlers, in this context, they are known to government officials. They are known to governors sometimes. CNN or Al Jazeera will interview governors, city governors of northern Nigeria. When people are kidnapped like Kankara, like other places, they will be telling you that they are negotiating with the bandits. These are clear, known, sworn enemies of the state. Sometimes they will even show on television, national television like NTA, they will say some bandits just repented. You see them, they will show their weapon. Tomorrow they will say they have gone back to the forest again because of one reason or the other. That is to show that both those in position of authority, elected officers, and security agencies, they have a place that missing the point. And unless that missing point is tackled, we are going to continue to have insecurity in Nigeria, and presidents, even after President Muhammadu Buhari, may continue to issue statements that have to do with deal decisively, shoot anybody that is carrying AK-47, and so on and so forth.
We've had different successive governments, administrations really trying to hit hard on tackling insecurity in the country. This is not really peculiar to that of President Muhammadu Buhari. And time immemorial, we can't but say that we've had this challenge. Now, what do you think is missing? Because some say that apart from the aspect of the security agents, the military, these other agencies trying to tackle this headlong, there should be a political will by the government or the president to mention names or allow, a name mentioning of these persons that sponsor these groups, like what came up in earlier posts. What do you think of this? Isn't that the right way to go, looking at a way to fish out the sponsors?
I think when we talk about security, we should be very, very honest in dealing with security issue. When there is no honesty, you are just playing the game. You are jeopardizing the lives of the people. Honesty is a criteria to handle security issue. It should not be politicized. We talk about the statement of the president. My prayer is that that should not be a political statement, because that's not the first time we'll be hearing people talking about marching order, taking a decisive move against criminals and criminality. I just pray that should not be a political issue you just say in the television, and at the underground, things are still going on. When the president, before the president came, Nigeria really voted for him with the mindset of his background as a military officer. He'll be able to take care of security issue. He promised within 6 months, the issue of terrorism will be over. But as we are speaking, we have 4 dangerous terrorist organizations in Nigeria. Nigeria is the 3rd terrorist country in the world. When you talk about Afghanistan, the mindset of people will go to terrorism. If care is not taken, when you talk about Nigeria outside, the mindset will be on terrorism. Because we were thinking it was a joke. I was in Asia some years ago when there was an announcement that a young man attempted to bomb a plane, and they said it's from Nigeria. We argued it, that guy cannot be from Nigeria, that a Nigerian can never do that. Terrorism is not in our blood. We did not believe that something like this will happen. Even the House of Assembly, it was debated that young man is not in Nigeria. But look at today. It's like terrorism has come to stay with us. It's the most terrible thing that has happened to this country. Because our borders are opened. The border is so porous as if there are no security agents there. Because these people did not fall from the moon.
Okay, I think we dwell so much on the problems, but let's look at the ways to tackle this. Because you are a security expert, and what do you make of mentioning of names of those who sponsor insecurity activities?
That is why I talk about genuinity, sincerity. When we are dealing with security, it's just like the law. You see the figure there, the woman with the blinded eyes. You deal with security without favor, without being afraid of anything, because it has to do with human lives. When we are talking about security, you see the tension is high, because human lives are involved. If you mention names of people who are sponsoring these things, you should be bold to prosecute them.
Okay.
Not just mentioning it and put it under the carpet, and we didn't hear anything about these things. I think security issue is a localized matter. The other day, the Nigerian government, they bought 12 Tucano jets to fight insecurity. A few days ago, the Air Force chief was talking about they have 38 aircraft presently. 38 aircraft for Air Force. That is funny. They are celebrating that one. America, we are talking about more than 10,000 aircraft.
I think that's quite a huge gulf when it comes to the number.
Oh God.
But don't forget again, that's a developed polity, unlike ours, which is still developing.
We are developing, well, we should develop fast because human lives are in danger. When America is talking about having more than 13,000 aircraft to fight insecurity, we are talking about 38. What about the security budget? The money we are spending for security every year in billions. Where are this money going to?
Okay, but aside having these jets, what do you think should also be done in terms of maximizing its
what I want to say, it's not about the jet, really.
Okay.
Because the way our soldiers are being killed in the battle, just like what David said, that Saul died as if he was not anointed. Our soldiers are being killed as if they were not trained. It's a painful thing to see soldiers being killed by people who are not trained because of the no marching order. They are not well equipped. The government should involve technology in handling security. We should involve nano robots. We should involve robot technology, high technology to fight insecurity. We don't use humans to address issues like this. There are standard ways of addressing insecurity. You don't put people's life in danger in terms of you are going to fight. You just use technology to administer to these things, and they'll be taken care of. Right from your control room, you are seeing the bandits in the forest. You send drone, you send whatever you want to send there. You don't need to send our men there. And they will be dislodged. Within just a press of a button, the whole issue is over. But if this is not done, and we are still going in the old way, we cannot address it. And secondly, insecurity issues should be addressed in a local manner. I still talk about orientation. Money should be given out for solid orientation. Sensitization. We should sensitize ourselves.
Okay. Even looking at the vigilantes also.
Yes. We should
also help to keep the society safe.
Yeah, the vigilante has come to really help the situation. We talk about state police, local police, and the rest. It's like they are still dragging their feet on this issue of state police. Thank God for the vigilante. They are doing their best to see how they can reduce insecurity, but their best is not enough. Because we must involve technology in handling security.
All right, thank you. I'll still come back to you, but Nebula Bakedo, a lot has been said, and let's look at the statement credited to Autumn, the governor of Benue State, where he did say that terrorist groups, in as much as the presidency has already said that even bandits should be declared as terrorists, that there should be also a declaration of some certain cattle rearers, the groups, as terrorists. Do you agree to that without mentioning names?
Well, I know the situation that Autumn finds itself right now, because Benue State is one of the worst hit states when it comes to issue of banditry, cattle rustling, criminal herdsmen activities. And sometimes I see the governor almost weeping when he's talking about insecurity in the state and the attitude of the presidency. And it is on the basis of what the state has suffered or still suffering that made him to make that statement that a certain association
group of cattle
should be declared a terrorist organization. What I have been saying is that those who are presiding over the affairs of Nigeria, I hope they learn from history. When I say learn from history, not necessarily history of Nigeria, they should learn from history of other nation states. When you see groups making statements that are threatening the unity of an heterogeneous state like Nigeria, you should be scared, you should be worrisome, it should be worrisome to those who are at the end of affairs. And they're supposed to deal decisively with such groups that have the tendency of inciting violence in the country. Nigeria should take a cue from what happened in Burundi and what happened in Rwanda and several other countries where people make stupid statements about the fragile unity of their country and how kamikaze, genocide ended the situation. And up till now, some of these countries are yet to recover from what happened in those countries because of statements of groups who feel that they are close to the corridors of power or they are close to the city president. Now, talking about terrorist groups, any group, whether by statement, any group, whether by action, that threatens the existence of other groups in a nation state like Nigeria is a terrorist group. Whether the government musters the courage to say, so, you are a terrorist group or not, it is a terrorist group. And what is terrorism? Creating fear in the life of people, making them to be secure on a continuous basis, destroy their property, in the name of sending a message to them to know that anytime they threaten your interest, you are going to deal decisively with them that way. Or when they threaten the interest of government, government will deal with that group of people. As we have seen in Cambodia, in other parts of the world, and so on. Now, what I expect the government to do is not to be declaring IPOB a terrorist group, cattle rustler terrorist group, bandit terrorist group. It is for government to bridge the gap of security.
Okay.
There is a gap of security right now.
Yes.
That criminals are trying to now bridge the gap. And that gap that is created by government, by elected government. The gap is created by enemies of the state that are in security organizations who wine and dine with criminals, giving them information.
Yes, just like you made mention of the porous borders. Again,
yes.
My mind was coming there to the point that the president cannot be there to mount the borders.
Yes.
The president can be everywhere.
Yes.
But there is a command that does that. And there is a hierarchy.
Yes.
And whoever is found wanting, not doing his duty at that particular time, can also be called for questioning. We have the National Assembly to also help in doing that, to check and monitor the activities and the performance of these actors. Don't you think that should be from that angle?
One of the problems that we have with democracy, and especially democracy in an heterogeneous society, is what he referred to when he was talking about the issue of trust, sincerity, honesty. Now, let's look at the armed forces and the police and paramilitary organizations. The president is the president and commander-in-chief of all of them. Now, the president is the one to appoint. Sometimes when you hear that appointments are made by governors, by presidents, they are not the people making the appointment. It is those who are close to them that recommend. My brother is a major general. I know that he will represent you well when he's made chief of army staff. the person is close to the president, and the president considers it when he's lying down on his bed that Governor so came to meet me to say my brother is a major general, and the president waits up that money and says a new chief of family staff is appointed, and he appoints the major general that is related to a governor. All the lieutenant generals with him, or the senior major general with him, they are proceeding on compulsory retirement.
So you are saying that's how we miss it?
Yes, because of that. And when such a person is appointed, the person who is recommending him will be expecting that when budgets are made and money is given to the army, he's going to get his own share. That's why they recommended him. And so when they are budgeting money for battle against bandits and cattle rustlers, he's going to get his cut from it. So he's not concerned about the security of life and property that is brother or that is lady that is recommended for chief of family staff chief position is going to represent. There seems not to be an end to really tackle this. So that continues. Mm-hmm. That is what is happening when IG is appointed, custom the general is appointed, chief of naval staff is appointed, and so the president is supposed to, on the basis of trust and honesty, look for somebody that knows something about the army and appoint a nationalistic chief of army staff. Go to the Nigerian Air Force and appoint a nationalistic chief of air staff. Go to the Nigerian Navy and appoint a nationalistic chief of naval staff. So that when they are hearing of pirates on the sea, the chief of naval staff will move swiftly against them. When you are hearing of bandits, the bandits are not operating in the sky, in the spiritual world. They are operating on this Nigerian political space. Now, the Nigerian Air Force, they have the capability to locate them and to bomb them. Now, let me just tell you an instance. On election day, you are always in Nigeria when they are conducting the election. Every community in Nigeria is garrisoned with soldiers. Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Navy, some police, civil defense, all the nooks and crannies of this country. You see them. But when it comes to banditry, and they are located in the forest, you will not see the security men. What is the problem? When you are hearing of kidnappers operating in a forest, from here you are going to Auchi right now, from this area of the forest reserve, through Sobe, through Zeba, through Ozala, down to Iwepe, down to Uroposa. There is a forest there. The people that they bring to Edo State during governorship election, because Edo State governorship election does not take place when other governorship elections are taking place. The security men they deploy to Edo State during governorship election, if they deploy them to this forest, you will not see any criminal there. So when we are talking about fighting against insecurity, government should be sincere. And when I say government should be sincere, government should know that they took an oath. The president should know that he took an oath that he was going to protect the life and property of Nigeria. And he was going to ensure that Nigerians dwell in good health, in welfare, and in a secure environment. But right now, that is being seriously threatened. And the government is not doing the needful to ensure that that is tackled. Well,
I think the fresh marching order, we just hope, like you said, honesty in pursuing all of this. But we have these porous borders, like has been mentioned. What do you think should be done? Should it be left for a command? Or should there be a collaboration, synergy of security agencies?
Generally, security is a general effort. But not even the uniformed people, even the civilians are involved in security. And the civilians should not leave security matters in the hands of the uniformed people. Because everybody in the area of security, everybody is a stakeholder. When we talk about these people, Maroonders, entering our country, they didn't fall from the sky. They came from our porous borders. Our borders, I keep on saying, our borders are too porous. We have more than 1,000 porous borders, where these people can just enter as if they are going to New Benin Market.
So it seems we are short of personnel, or what do you think is the problem?
Yes, they should increase the personnel. That's one. Let's talk about the solution, because we have been talking about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. Number one, security issue it should be localized. It should be a grassroots approach. We should encourage, we should enlighten the people, we should educate the people, and we should mobilize them, give them strong enlightenment when it comes to security. That's what other nations are doing. Thank God our schools now, they are putting security as a part of their curriculum. This is what I've been saying. Put security studies as part of the school curriculum. Right from the primary one, they keep on understanding what security entails. Then they get to primary 6, they become security of themselves. They take over their security. Don't wait for the government to come and protect you. Even the police, in terms of numerical strength, Nigerian police, they are less than 500,000.
All right.
Then the issue of the assisting the police, the government should take care of the police very well. The police are not well taken care of in terms of morale, in terms of salary and the rest. Even the military, the government should spend more money and they should supervise the money. When you are putting security vote on whatever, it should be well spent, it should be supervised, it should be monitored, and it should be accountable for.
Okay, let's look, before I let you go, let's look at the proliferation of arms, which is also taking a worrisome dimension. Do you think there's an end to this?
As long as our borders are open, you can't stop that. Presently, we have more than 6 million arms in this country. How many are being managed by our security agencies? Less than 1 million. Meaning more than 5 million weapons, arms, guns, and the hands of people who are not uniformed. So how are we going to manage the situation? It's all about orientation. When you orient the people, there's a good governance. There's employment rates. The employment rate is increasing. Education is given a priority. People will naturally drop their hand. They won't see the need of going into crime and criminality. They will naturally drop their hand. And we live as brothers in our country. And those who are strangers in our country, they should be fished out. They should not be allowed to stay here. They are the one causing all this problem. They should be fished and sent back to where they are coming from. And man our borders very well.
Thank you very much, Reverend Dr. Sheriff Azeke, a security expert, and of course also the CEO of Sapphire Shield Security. Big thanks, Neville Obakedo, for taking our time to be part of this. And Neville Obakedo is a lecturer in the University of Benin. We're going to be looking at fuel subsidy removal, and we're looking at the quest for a game changer. We'll bring that briefly after this break.